Learn English through stories. Intermediate English. The Four Brahmins. The Lion Makers. Four Brahmins set out seeking glory, but their journey awakens a deadly lion. Will their knowledge be enough to survive? Enjoy this dramatic Indian tale, told in clear English, and grow your reading and listening skills along the way. Scholars, full of pride. In a village in ancient India lived four dear friends, all Brahmins. Three of them, Gyan, Kushal, and Jiva, were brilliant scholars who had mastered every book of knowledge. They were very proud of their learning and believed there was nothing they could not do with their powerful intellect and profound scholarship. Vivek's simple wisdom. The fourth friend was named Vivek. He was not a great scholar like his friends, but he possessed something they lacked, a wealth of common sense. He saw the world, not just through books, but with clear, practical eyes. His friends often teased him for his simple wisdom, but Vivek never minded. Dreaming of gold and glory. One day, the three scholars decided to travel to a faraway kingdom to use their knowledge to earn riches and fame. With our skills, boasted Gyan, we can impress any king and win a great fortune. Kushal and Jivan eagerly agreed, their minds filled with visions of gold and palaces. Vivek joins the journey. They invited Vivek to join them on their long journey. You must come with us, Vivek, said Jivan. We will make our fortunes, and you can share in our success. Vivek, ever loyal to his friends, agreed to go with them, hoping to keep them safe on the road ahead. Strange bones in the forest. Their path took them through a dense and quiet forest. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and ancient trees. As they walked, their eyes fell upon a strange sight scattered on the forest floor. It was a pile of old, sun-bleached bones lying in the shape of a large animal. The lion's identity revealed. Jivan and Vivek came closer to inspect the strange discovery. What a perfect opportunity, exclaimed Jivan, his eyes gleaming with intellectual pride. This is a chance to test the power of our knowledge. We can use our sacred arts to bring this creature back from the dead. He identified the bones as belonging to a magnificent, powerful lion. A dangerous plan. Kushal and Jivan were thrilled by the idea. Imagine the glory. They could create life where there was only death. It would be the ultimate proof of their scholarly mastery. They immediately began to discuss how they would perform the miraculous feat, their voices buzzing with self-assured excitement about their plan. Vivek's desperate warning. But Vivek was filled with a sense of deep dread. He stepped forward, his voice low and serious. My friends, please reconsider this, he pleaded. You have correctly identified these as the bones of a lion. If you bring a lion back to life, it will surely turn on us and kill us all. Gyan scoffs at warning. Gyan scoffed at the warning. Vivek, you speak from a place of ignorance, he said dismissively. Do you think our great learning would fail us? It is a shame to have such powerful knowledge and not put it to the test. We will not be stopped by your baseless fears and your lack of vision. mocked as a coward. Kushal laughed aloud. Don't be a coward, Vivek. Where is your sense of adventure? We are about to perform a miracle that will be spoken of for centuries. This is the entire reason we came on this journey to prove our greatness. Stand aside and watch a true display of power and intellect. The wise friend's choice. Vivek saw that their pride had made them deaf to reason. He could not convince them to abandon their foolish and dangerous plan. If you must do this, he said with a heavy heart, then at least grant me a moment to climb to safety in that tall tree over there. Go hide in your tree. The three scholars, lost in their own arrogance, readily agreed. As you wish, said Jeevan. Go hide in your tree, sensible one, while we who are truly wise perform our great work. They paid him no more attention, turning back to the pile of bones with renewed focus and excitement for their task. Bones rise again. As Vivek scrambled up the strong branches of the tree, Gyan began the first part of the ritual. He knelt down and, with intense concentration, used his knowledge to magically assemble the skeleton. Bone by bone, the creature took shape on the forest floor, perfectly formed from tail to skull. Flesh on bone. Next, it was Kushal's turn to demonstrate his profound skill. He chanted a complex series of verses, and as he spoke, sinew, muscle, and flesh began to grow over the bare bones. Soon, a magnificent lion's body lay before them, complete with a golden coat of fur and a thick, dark mane. The final spell. The lion now looked perfect, but it was still just a lifeless shell. It lacked the spark of life. The final and most powerful act was left to Jivan. He stepped forward, his face alight with a triumphant glow, ready to perform the ultimate act of creation and prove his supreme mastery. Horror from the tree. From his high perch in the tree, Vivek watched in horror. He saw his friends standing proudly beside their creation, completely unaware of the terrible danger they were in. He could only hold his breath and pray, knowing that their foolish pride had sealed their fate, and there was nothing more he could do. The lion breathes. Jeevan closed his eyes and began the final powerful incantation. He breathed life into the creature. As the last word of the spell left his lips, the lion's great chest rose with a mighty breath. Its eyes snapped open, glowing with a wild and ferocious light. The scholars had succeeded in their task. Triumph too soon. The three scholars cheered in triumph. We did it, they shouted in unison, hugging each other in celebration. Our knowledge is supreme. We are the most powerful men in the world. For a fleeting moment, they stood in glorious admiration of their own incredible, world-shaking accomplishment, believing they had achieved the ultimate victory. The predator rise. Jeevan clapped his hands in glee, his face beaming. But their celebration was cut brutally short. The magnificent lion, brought back to a life of hunger and instinct, rose to its feet. It let out a deafening roar that shook the very trees of the forest. It was not a creature of gratitude. It was a predator. the savage attack. Before the scholars could react, their faces frozen in shock and sudden terror, the lion sprang into action. With the swift and deadly force of a natural hunter, it leaped upon the three men who had just been celebrating their own genius. Their screams of triumph turned into screams of pure agony. Knowledge can't save them. The great beast killed the three proud Brahmins in an instant, their vast scholarship utterly useless against its sharp claws and powerful teeth. Their foolish experiment had cost them their lives, just as Vivek had warned. The forest, which had been filled with their proud boasts, fell silent once more. Helpless, above the horror. High above, Vivek watched the terrible scene unfold, his heart heavy with grief for his foolish friends. He waited until the lion had finished its grim meal and disappeared back into the depths of the forest, leaving behind only a dreadful silence and the tragic proof of his warning. The price of pride. After the danger had passed, Vivek carefully climbed down from the safety of the tree. He looked at the tragic scene one last time, his eyes filled with sorrow for the friends he had lost. He had no fortune and no new fame to bring back, only a very painful and valuable lesson. Knowledge wasn't enough. Vivek turned and began the long, lonely journey home. He had learned that all the books in the world cannot replace a single ounce of good judgment. For as he now knew, with absolute certainty, true wisdom is not just about knowing things, it is about understanding consequences. Scholarship is indeed less than common sense. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more fun English lessons.